The first human world did not fight back. No warning flares rose from orbit. No defensive lattice shimmered awake. The Carvax vanguard descended through cloud cover expecting alarms, heat signatures, frantic traffic. Instead, the city beneath them slept in perfect order. Streets were lit. Transit rails hummed on schedule. Food printers cycled warm meals onto empty counters. High Hunter Vector watched from the command dais, talons folded in ceremonial calm. "Prey flees," he said to his bridge. "Prey hides. This species has done both." A junior navigator clicked his mandibles. "No evacuation signatures detected. Atmospheric balance remains stable." "Then they ran early," Vector replied. "Fear teaches obedience." The Carvax had hunted 1,000 species. They understood panic the way artisans understand grain and wood. Humans had been catalogued as fragile, clever enough to build cities, weak enough to abandon them. The Council's decree had been clear: a grand hunt would end the debate. Landing teams swept through neighborhoods that smelled faintly of cooked grain and antiseptic. Doors were unlocked. Personal effects lay where hands had left them. A child's shoe rested beneath the table, laces tied, as if its owner would return any moment. The hunters laughed through their masks. "See?" a pack leader chirred. "They fled without even burning their nests." Hours passed. Nothing moved. Then a patrol failed to report. Vector allowed himself a small irritation. Interference, he decided. Sweep the comm bands. The bands were clean. Too clean. No static. No echoes. On the second continent, the same stillness waited. Power flowed. Weather systems adjusted minutely. Reservoirs balanced themselves against evaporation. The infrastructure was intact, attentive, alive. Only the people were gone. "Hunters," Vector announced. "Spread wider. Claim trophies. Let the galaxy see their absence." The first ship vanished at the edge of orbit. There was no flash. No energy spike. One moment the cruiser tracked as a blue icon on the tactical display, the next it simply ceased to exist. Space closed over the absence without turbulence. Silence tightened the bridge. "Cause?" Vector asked. "Unknown," the sensor chief answered. "No weapons discharge detected. No debris field." "A malfunction," Vector said, voice steady. "Advance." They advanced. Across 3 systems, the pattern repeated. Empty worlds. Functioning cities. Ships lost without trace. Each time, the Carvax attributed the loss to coincidence, then to cowardly sabotage, then to poor maintenance. Pride demanded explanations that did not involve fear. On the 4th system, something answered back. A Carvax scout dropped from jump and found a human freighter drifting, hull scorched, transponder blinking a civilian code. The scout hailed it, voice sharp with triumph. "Prey vessel," the hunter said. "Power down. You are claimed." The reply came instantly, human accented, calm. "Negative." The scout commander bared his teeth. "You will comply." "Negative," the voice repeated. "You are inside a restricted corridor. Your laws do not apply," the scout snapped. "Correct," the human said. "Physics does." The freighter cut power. Space folded. The scout's trajectory bent a fraction of a degree, enough. The ship slid into a gravity shear mapped centuries earlier by human surveyors, a place where mass and motion argued until hulls lost. The scout did not explode. It stretched, screamed metal, then unraveled into a ribbon of light. Vector received the recording in full clarity. He watched it twice. "Who spoke?" he demanded. "No identification," the intelligence officer said. "Signal massed through civilian relays." "Find them," Vector ordered. "They dare speak." As the hunt widened, the humans did not defend. They curated. Trade lanes flickered alive, then dead. Beacons guided Carvax packs toward fuel, then starved them by hours. Old debris fields blossomed into lethal mirages as human drones nudged orbits by millimeters. Nothing looked like an attack. Everything behaved like an accident. On the 5th day, Vector convened his captains. "This prey resists without showing itself," he said. "That is a flaw. We will force revelation." They burned a city. Orbital fire reduced towers to molten scars. The act was broadcast across the Council's networks. Vector expected a response, a plea, a charge, anything. What arrived was a single transmission, routed through agricultural satellites. A human voice. Male. Unadorned. "You destroyed an empty place," it said. "Adjust your estimates. Name yourself." Vector snarled. The voice paused, as if considering courtesy. "Not yet." The signal cut. That night, Carvax supply depots failed simultaneously across 6 systems. Valves stuck. Reactors throttled themselves down. Navigation charts updated with old data. Hunters began to miss meals. Vector stared at the starfield, unease scratching beneath ritual calm. He had come to slaughter prey. Instead, he felt examined. Somewhere in the dark, the humans were not hiding. They were measuring. Vector dismissed the feeling and straightened his crest. "We press," he told the bridge. "Predators do not hesitate." Yet the stars ahead no longer looked like territory. They looked like instruments. On a marginal moon, a Carvax pack followed a fresh signal trail to a sealed facility. The doors opened when they cut power. Lights guided them inward, inviting. The floor gave way beneath the last hunter, not as a trap, but as a consequence of weight and angle. The survivors retreated, shaken, carrying no trophies, only silence. Reports stacked. Each incident was minor alone. Together, they formed a lattice of intent. Someone had anticipated hunger curves, refuel cycles, stress responses. Someone knew how long arrogance lasted before it soured. Vector called for the council feed. Applause greeted him, then faltered as losses were summarized without imagery. Numbers meant nothing to the crowd. Absence did. "We remain in control," he announced. "The prey has learned to scratch." The feed ended. No congratulations followed. As the bridge dimmed to night cycle, the intelligence officer approached. "Hi, Hunter," she said carefully. "We are being herded." Vector did not answer at once. He watched a constellation rotate, each point tagged by human hands long before the hunt began. "Then we will break the fence," he said. Behind his certainty, the dark rearranged itself, patient, precise. By the 7th day, the hunt no longer felt ceremonial. Carvax fleets drifted where they should have advanced. Their formations frayed, not from battle but from delay, missed rendezvous, rerouted convoys, refueling points that answered hails with silence. Vector watched status glyphs fade from green to amber to a quiet, humiliating red. "Report," he said. "Consumption exceeds projections," the logistics master replied. "We are burning fuel correcting course errors that did not exist on prior charts." "Then the charts are compromised," Vector snapped. "They are consistent," the master said. "Consistently wrong." Across the void, human space behaved like a body under anesthesia. Responsive. Calm. Uncooperative. Each correction the Carvax made nudged them deeper into inefficiency. The hunters chased stability and found friction instead. A scout wing broke formation to pursue a clean signal, a refinery beacon pulsing old civilian codes. They arrived to find the refinery intact, its tanks full, its approach lanes welcoming. As the first ship latched on, the beacons switched bands. The tanks vented inert gas. The approach lanes tightened their margins by fractions that mattered at speed. One ship scraped, then another. No explosions. Just damage. Just time lost. "Trickery," a captain hissed. "Design," answered a human voice, slipping into the channel as if invited. "You confuse the two." Vector leaned forward. "You speak again." "Yes." "Name yourself." A pause. "Commander Elias Rourke." "Where are your fleets?" Vector demanded. "Elsewhere," Rourke said. "Where they're needed." "You hide behind machines." Rourke exhaled, audible. We stand behind math. The channel closed. Vekthar felt something unfamiliar stir. Not fear, irritation sharpened by uncertainty. He ordered pursuit. Trace the voice. Burn for it. The trace led them nowhere and everywhere. Civilian relays rebroadcast the signal in echoing delays, each hop legal, ancient, unremarkable. The Carvax chased ghosts that cost them hours. On a barren system's edge, a human cargo line appeared to limp through space, engines misfiring, transponder blinking distress. A Carvax pack pounced. As they closed, the cargo line split, panels unfolding to reveal nothing more than mass and timing. The pack overshot, their inertia dragging them through a radiation seam mapped on no Carvax chart because it was harmless to ships that didn't rush. 2 hunters limped out. One did not. "Why do you not fight?" A wounded captain broadcast, pride cracking. "Face us," Rourke answered, softer this time. "You want a duel. We want an outcome." Supply failures cascaded. Protein stocks soured within sealed holds. Cooling systems throttled themselves down to protect reactors that no longer needed protection. The Carvax ate less, slept worse, argued more. The hunt's rhythm dissolved. Vekthar convened his captains again. "We compress," he ordered. "We mass power and strike a core world." "There are no cores," an aide said before thinking better. "They distributed everything." Vekthar's talons tightened. "Then we force one." They chose a colony marked by old census data, its orbit rich, its gravity gentle. As the fleets aligned, human traffic blossomed, freighters, shuttles, a swarm that suggested panic at last. "No," Vekthar said. The swarm parted. Human ships did not fire. They turned, presenting vectors. The Carvax followed, hungry for contact. Space narrowed. A corridor formed, not a trap, just a sequence of probabilities tuned to Carvax aggression. Micro-adjustments nudged angles. Velocities compounded. The corridor ended at a star's outer turbulence, where magnetics played rough games with mass. The first collision was minor. The second was not. The third never happened because the corridor closed, obedient to equations the humans had solved long before. Vekthar tore his gaze away. "Enough," he said. "Open a channel." Rourke appeared, not as an image, but as a voice anchored to coordinates that did not matter. "You're bleeding time," he said. "That's the wound. You orchestrate accidents," Vekthar accused. "You poison space." "We farm assumptions," Rourke replied. "Yours grow fast. You will be hunted to extinction." Rourke's tone cooled. "You came to us." The channel died. Hours later, a Carvax task force broke radio discipline and surged toward a human moon, intent on something tangible. The moon's surface lit to guide them, landing fields unfolding with generous margins. As boots touched regolith, gravity adjusted, not violently, just enough to tax muscles calibrated for different loads. The hunters advanced slower than planned. Doors ahead sealed. Behind them, nothing chased. They retreated, exhausted, carrying no proof of victory, only an understanding that the ground itself disagreed with them. Vekthar paced. Reports layered into a picture he did not want. Humans were not avoiding battle, they were refusing to validate it. Every response denied spectacle. Every loss lacked theater. The council would see numbers without images and doubt him. "High Hunter," the intelligence officer said, careful again. "Their patterns, they anticipated our doctrine. The pauses. The pushes. Even our tolerance for loss." "Impossible," Vekthar said. "They have been watching us for a long time." As if summoned, Rourke spoke once more, threading a needle through secure bands. "We mapped you when you weren't looking," he said. "Not your ships. Your habits. You cannot know us," Vekthar said. "We know what you do when hungry," Rourke replied. "When praised. When bored." Vekthar felt the shape of the fence at last, not walls, but incentives. Each path forward cost him something he needed. Each retreat cost him something else. The humans had not closed space. They had narrowed choices. "Then face me," Vector demanded. End this. Soon, Rourke said. When the lesson sticks. The fleets limped onward, cohesion thinning. Stars ahead glimmered like tools laid out in patient hands. The silence between them grew heavier, not empty, but attentive. The hunt ended without a final battle. Vector realized it when the stars stopped offering options. Not walls, there were no walls, but paths that all led to the same conclusion. His fleets were scattered, hungry, delayed by choices that looked reasonable until they weren't. Every route forward demanded fuel he could not spare or time he did not have. Retreats led through corridors that taxed damaged hulls. Holding position invited systems to fail on their own schedules. The galaxy had become an argument he could not win. Status, he said, though he already knew. The bridge answered with fragments. Task Group 9 unable to jump. Medical stocks depleted. Long-range sensors degraded. No panic. Worse, resignation. A single human signal threaded through the noise, clean and narrow. Vector accepted it. Hi, Hunter, said Commander Elias Rourke. You're done. Vector straightened. You have not defeated us. Rourke's voice carried no triumph. We don't need to. You hide behind inevitability. Vector snarled. Face me. Prove your strength. Strength isn't the proof, Rourke replied. Survival is. A tactical overlay bloomed on Vector's console without permission. It was not a map of ships or weapons. It was a web of timelines, consumption curves, morale decay, maintenance thresholds. Lines converged toward dates that required no explosions to matter. You're starving us, Vector said. We're letting you spend yourselves, Rourke said. You chose speed over margins. Honor over logistics. We noted it. You planned this, Vector whispered. Long before you came, Rourke answered. We catalogued every hunt you broadcast. Every ritual pause. Every flourish. You taught us how you move. Vector's talons trembled. The truth cut deeper than loss. The humans had never needed to outfight the Carvax. They only needed to refuse to play. End it, Vector said. Claim your victory. Send your council a message, Rourke said. Unedited. Vector hesitated. Then he transmitted. Across the galaxy, the feed opened. No roaring crowds. No burning worlds. Only a tired hunter framed by dim stars. We came to hunt humans, Vector said, voice steady by force of will. They did not flee. They did not charge. They let us be what we are, and arranged the universe so it no longer favored us. The council murmured. We lost ships without battle, Vector continued. Time without pursuit. Will without defeat. This species does not hunt for sport. It hunts outcomes. The feed cut. Rourke spoke once more. Stand down your fleets. Power minimal. Accept escort. Vector laughed, a harsh sound. Escort by prey. By neighbors, Rourke corrected. If you choose it. Silence stretched. Then Vector bowed his crest. We accept. Human ships appeared, not armadas, but careful presences. They guided Carvax vessels along paths chosen for gentleness. Repairs followed. Rations. Medical aid delivered without ceremony. No trophies. No parades. On Earth and its colonies, people returned to cities that had never stopped working. Children reclaimed shoes beneath tables. Markets reopened. No speeches marked the moment. Only a quiet adjustment back to living. Weeks later, the Galactic Predatory Council issued a reclassification. Humanity was removed from prey registries. It was not added to predator lists either. A new category appeared, debated and then accepted. Strategic species, alter systems. Vector watched the notice from a recovery dock, his fleets diminished but alive. Rourke stood beside him in silence, present only as a voice routed through local relays. You could have ended us, Vector said. We ended the hunt, Rourke replied. There's a difference. You will be feared. Eventually, Rourke said. For now, understood is enough. Vector considered the human who had never raised his voice, never boasted, never chased applause. You are predators, he said at last. Rourke paused. We decide what's worth chasing. The channel closed. Far from the docks, stars continued their patient work. Somewhere, a civilization that once hunted learned to measure. Somewhere else, humanity returned to its quiet habit of preparing, not for war, but for the moment when someone else would make the same mistake. Predators hunt. Humans decide what survives.